Welcome back, everybody. My name is Taylor Martin. This is the best Damn EDC. It's time for another EDC Weekly. This time we're doing BOUGIE Carry 3.0. I've asked you guys to share your luxury, high-end, excessive, really nice, expensive carries. And this is what you guys sent me. So with that said, let's do the damn thing. Before we get started, I want to thank our sponsor for today's video, OpenSea Leather. You guys know I love them, but OpenSea Leather is a veteran-owned leather business based in Hawaii that sells some of the finest and most uniquely functional hand-stitched wallets out there. OpenSea wallets are made with Italian vegetable tan leather and heavy-duty thread, with as few stitches as possible to keep the possible points of failure to a minimum. The most notable wallets from OpenSea are the tuck-style wallets like the Gun Deck and Topsider, both of which can be purchased as pre-configured same-day shippers, or you can go the custom route and select your favorite leather and stitch color to truly make the wallet your own. These wallets hold up to 10 cards and plenty of cash, and you can do a full tuck and keep all of your cards and cash secure, or you can leave the frontmost pocket exposed for a makeshift quick draw. If you need more capacity, OpenSea also makes variations of those wallets like the quick draw, which adds a quick access pocket to the outside of the wallet, and my personal favorite, the Hubei 2.0, which adds a second layer of pockets to the entire wallet. For the minimalists out there, OpenSea also just announced mini versions of both the Gun Deck and Topsider models. These look and operate just like their larger counterparts, but just take up less space in the pocket. If you're interested in these mini versions of the Topsider or Gun Deck, head over to osleather.com on Black Friday and pick one up. And don't forget to use coupon code BESTDAMN for 10% off at checkout. And once again, I want to thank OpenSea for sponsoring this video. To get things kicked off, let's start with my BOUGIE carry. And I wouldn't say it's exceptionally BOUGIE in any way. It's actually pretty tame, especially compared to what you're about to see here in this video. I don't typically carry super outrageous things. I have some expensive knives and flashlights and whatnot, but this is typically around what I normally carry, but some of you consider this BOUGIE. So first up, the knife. This is new to me as of this week or this weekend. Been carrying it ever since. I really like this knife. This is the Tactile Knife Company Rockwall. I like this a lot more than I thought I was going to. I was not super interested in the Rockwall, not for any other reason than the fact that it's pretty understated. Very much like Chris Reeve. It's just not, stepping out too far. It's a very comfortable, safe design, but I really like it a lot more than I thought I would. The action on this is really good. The fit and finish is great. I've got very few complaints about this knife, period. I think it's a really good first knife from Tactile. I kind of hate that it took me so long to get my hands on one just because I didn't put forth the effort, but I really like this a lot. A lot. I also, since I was talking about this last week, I talked about not being able to get one of these in the utility knife video, but the utility knife in my pocket right now is the Chavez Chub Flipper and the OD Green Micarta. They were not available when I was making that video. I swear to you, I looked them up on Knife Center, Blade HQ. They were out of stock. I uploaded the video and they're all back in stock now. So they're available. Maybe there was a restock. That's all I can think of, but I did try to get one before that video and I couldn't. So regardless, I got one now. I think this is really good. It's a really good overbuilt utility knife. I think it's excessive for most people, especially for like just tearing down boxes or whatever. But this is definitely one of the toughest utility knives out there, period. Really cool, but not cheap. The pin, this one's not exceptionally BOUGIE in any way other than the fact that they're not out yet. So this is the Silex Gear Jet Pin. The Kickstarter just ended this week, I believe. Really cool titanium, like reverse or OTF pin. Really cool. And then the flashlight, nothing super special. This is a Raylight Pineapple Mini in titanium. I think it's a really good flashlight for the money. The wallet, you guys know I flip-flop around a ton with wallets. It's probably something I change out almost as much as my knife, but this is the wallet in the pocket this week. Thanks to our sponsor. This is the OpenSea Leather Hubei 2.0. I go back and forth between this and the Topsider and maybe 2 or 3 other wallets. I tend to come back to this one. I love the two-tone. It's just a really solid wallet. Looks really good, feels really good, and they look better with age. And then finally, on my wrist this week is something that I've gone back and forth with a ton. I had this thing actually up for sale for a little bit in the Discord and decided to pull it. This is the Oris Big Crown Pointer Date in the Movember edition. So it's got the stainless case instead of bronze. It doesn't have as much like faux patina to it. It's got some things that I really like over some of the other models, but if I ever did get rid of this, it would probably be specifically to get the bronze case with the green dial. but I already have a bronze case with a green dial Oris. So do I need another? Probably, but no, this is a really nice watch. I love the cathedral hands. I love the idea of the pointer date, and this is just a really classy looking watch from Oris. Got a few trade offers that I really thought about really hard, but ended up keeping it. So back on the wrist today. I like it. And then finally, since we round out with this, I'm gonna pour some of this in my cup today. I was drinking this on Whiskey Knife Fight on Friday. This is Oak and Eden, the Finnish whiskey, toasted oak, bourbon and spire. This stuff's really good. Finnish whiskeys are something that, not finished whiskeys are something that I have not had a lot of experience with, but this one, you can taste that char. I love it. So that's what's in my pockets today and in the glass. But now it's time for some news from the community. Really, the only thing that caught my attention or jumped out at me is this right here. This is the Sandrin Knives Torino. It popped up in my P.O. box, I believe last week, maybe the week before, and I carried it a good bit since then. Didn't like it at first because it's not exactly a good looking knife. It's not something that I would traditionally go for, but the utility in this is undeniable. This is not a new design from Sandrin. They have a Torino available right now, but it is, I believe, a red G10 handle. This is carbon fiber. It's got a red aluminum backspacer slash lock backspacer. I don't know. It has a recoil lock that is inspired by Snex, so kind of a mixture between the shark lock and an axis lock. It's a different locking mechanism, but I really like it. Anyway, these are $300, and you can go check out the Sandrin Knives website to find out more information. They should be available as of yesterday, if they're not already gone. And the only other thing I really have for you is that a couple of weeks ago I mentioned the giveaway winner for the October giveaway would be announced. In this episode, the winner is Elijah Cicileo. I've already reached out to them. They've already claimed their prize, so congratulations. You are now the proud owner of a bunch of random EDC stuff that I threw into a Garage Built Gear Mighty Mini Pouch. Mighty Pouch. Mighty Pouch, that's all it is. Why can I not talk today? Anyway, moving on. If you guys want to win the November giveaway, all you have to do is submit. Go to edcw.co, submit your carry, and you're entered to win. You get a second entry if you're featured in a video or over on Instagram. That's all there is to it. So submit your carry. That's it. It doesn't even have to be with a theme that we're doing that week. Just submit. Go to edcw.co, submit your carry. And I haven't announced what the November giveaway is yet, but I believe it's probably going to be a knife of some sort. I will try to make it a little higher end, like maybe $150 to $300, somewhere in that range. So just go to edcw.co, submit your carry. You are entered to win. First up, the very first submission we have this week comes from TheddyRS. His name is Theodore, I believe. But anyway, that's the only name he really submitted with. So in this photo, we have in the top left, balanced on his thumb, the Northeast Oddities UPO. And then next to that is his combination of a pen and a flashlight. He has the Boss 70 flashlight, a Grimsmo Saga pen, and then two knives. He has a Sharp by Design Tempest, absolutely beautiful knife, and a Usler Persian with a Timascus clip. Teddy says, or Teddy, it's T-H-E-D-D-Y. I'm just gonna call him Teddy. Not seen is my Sony XM4 wireless earbuds, OpenSea leather gun deck wallet, iPhone 11 Pro Max, chapstick, and keys. I'm always using my knives and flashlight. The pen is not always used, but when I do need it, it's a nice one to have. I find it a little hard to believe that you're carrying both the Usler and the Tempest at the same time. I just feel that's kind of not believable. Doesn't matter. There was no criteria for this. That Boss flashlight, those look super nice. I don't even know ballpark what those cost anymore. Like $7-ish, if I were to guess. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Pulling a number out of a hat, but really cool gear, man. I'm really jealous of that Tempest. Thank you for submitting. Next up, we have a submission from Ultiman over in the Discord. He calls this his BOUGIE sleeper carry. He has in the center of the photo the Breitling Aerospace Repetition Minutes Watch. Below that is the Ridian Front Flipper Trapper Knife, another beauty that is on my list. He has an Armstrong Metalworks Lemurian Wayfinder desk art, Chomp custom pocket art / knuckle / lifter by art, a Fox Hanks Compass Rose Topo Hank underneath everything, and then finally, in the top left, not part of his carry, just in the photo, is a Pete's Pirate Life Whiskey Tumbler V1 with some new Riff single barrel rye. He says, these items fit my under the radar personality well, not flashy, yet high quality and durable. I picked up the Breitling a few years ago and it quickly became my most frequently used watch. It's slightly quirky with a sleeper bougie aesthetic. The Chomp is a custom-made pocket art / knuckle / lifter by Art in the Discord that is truly one-of-a-kind piece with an old world vintage micarta and subtle blue glow bead and liner. Armstrong Metalworks does some amazing stuff, and this Lemurian Wayfinder is possibly one of the coolest pieces of art I own. The Pete's Pirate Life glass was a bit of an impulse buy, but the heft and handmade feel make this one a regular user for some tasty beverages. Currently sipping a New Riff single barrel rye. Their bourbon isn't bad either. Last item to note is the Iridium Custom front flipper knife. He makes a killer custom knife that has the vibe of a traditional yet the smoothest front flipping action I've ever experienced. Cool Canadian knife maker and an all-around great guy. I haven't ever talked to Iridium, but his knives are top-notch. They're really, I think, some of my favorite. I have the Rogue Wave line, or the mid-lock. I love that knife, and I would love to have a front flipper from him. That one is super, super nice. Anyway, thank you for sharing. Really, really nice gear. The next submission comes from Kamuela, or Mea Hanapahi, over on Instagram. They've made it into the show quite a bit. They just always just hit the nail on the head, and this is no exception, honestly. First up in the photo in the very center is the Omega Seamaster Professional. Beautiful watch, one of my favorite Omegas. I love the colorway on this one. That one's on the list, a long list, not something that's on my short list, but I would love to have one of those someday. He also has a Meads Barlow dyed giraffe bone with a mammoth shield. He has an Ultiman DC0, which is just barely in frame at the bottom. The pen that you see is the Tactile Turn Nautilus, and then the two leather pieces you see here, there's a Paradrop leather slip in the top left, and then under the watch is a Paradrop leather watch pouch. He says, keeping the EDC minimal, been getting back into slip joints. I picked up a few pieces that I'm excited to get. Love the channel, Taylor. Hope to get featured. Well, you are, again, featured. Really cool stuff. I think what jumped out at me most, besides the watch, is the knife. That is a beautiful, beautiful Barlow from Meads. The dyed giraffe bone and mammoth shield just makes it kind of extra. It's really sick. So congrats there on that beautiful pickup, and thank you for sharing such a great photo. Next up, we have a submission from Ryan, or Spirited Blades, over on Instagram. And the reason this one jumped out at me is the knife. Two of the knives. Both of the knives, rather. It's usually a good sign when I see a picture like this and I don't know what the knife is. Obviously, if there's no branding or anything on it, that's a good sign that it's a custom, probably a high-end custom that I've never heard of, and that proved true with this one. So first up, in the center of the photo is the first knife, and that is a Scott Cook Loxa, I don't know how it's pronounced, integral TI folder with 14 karat gold thumb stud and red abalone pivot. Runs on phosphor bronze washers and insanely perfect. 2300 table, $3,500 plus for secondary. Jesus Christ, you guys. The next is a Meads 4-inch dyno in Sambar Stag and 5-piece raised polished stainless paw print shield with Zerk backspacer and titanium liners. It's running on bearings, $1,500. The watch you see in the top right of the photo is the Omega Seamaster Aquaterra. That's about a $5,700 watch. The pin, it's a Grimsmo Saga, $300. Okluma DC0 is the flashlight, that's $450-ish. The wallet that you see is the Saddleback Leather Front ID Pocket Wallet. It's about $70. And then we have a Gold Eagle Pure 1-ounce gold coin. That is about $1,850 as of the time of this photo. He also has the Lynch Northwest All Access Pass and a Anno Fade. And then finally, Crane Knives, Worry Stone, and Sambar Stag, Zirconium and Titanium for $250-ish. This one's probably one of the most expensive that was submitted. He says, pretty content right now with his stuff, but he's looking for a small keychain light to replace his Surefire. He says, these are a few of my favorite things to carry, albeit bougie. They are in many instances my grails. Some hold a ton of sentimental value, like the Meads made to honor my dog, Roscoe, and the watch gifted to me by my wife. That said, my custom knife collection is vast and I rotate my primary carry most out of this lot of goodies. Thanks for all you do. Keep rocking. Well, this is quite the set of goodies. Never seen a knife with a 14 karat gold thumb stud before, but that is the definition of bouge. I love this Meads, not to, take away from what he said, but the paw print shield is not exactly something I care for, but the rest of the knife is super nice. Everything here is all just super nice stuff. As for the keychain light, your best bet, just cheap, easy going, is going to be the Olight I1R EOS, the I1R2 EOS. Just really solid, small, forgettable, like That's what you want. Other than that, maybe a Prometheus Beta QRV2 with the keychain attachment. That's a really good option as well, if you don't want something that's rechargeable. Next up, we have a submission from EDC_sector over on Instagram. In this photo, we have a Mighty Hanks Mighty Mini, and the watch you see in the bottom left is the Brew Retromatic. The flashlight is the CWF Micro Arcadian Clicky with a Steel Flame Crusader clip. The knife in the center of the photo is the Jason Guthrie Custom Gunstock Front Flipper. And then there's the pen, that is the Brian Fellholter Tiny Bolt, and then finally the Pacific Northwest Toast in the bottom right. He says, "Hi, Best MDC. This is my entry for the BOUGIE carry. I actually just received this grill knife of mine yesterday, JG Custom Gun Stock. I've seen a few of those pop up in the Discord server. It is a very minimal design, but man, you guys seem to really love these. I love the clean lines on this knife, just a clean, simple design, and I think that's probably why you guys like it so much. Probably also that it's a solid knife from a solid maker, was my guess, but anyway, the Brew Retromatic, I got this exact watch when they were about to be discontinued. I think a different colorway was going to be discontinued, so they started disappearing quickly. I really like the watch a ton, and I want to love the bracelet. I love the way the bracelet looks. It made me think of my grandpa, which is one of the reasons I love this watch. It makes me think of those little stretchy bracelets on his old Seiko. Like, love the look of this bracelet, but man, it just pulls my hair so much. But the watch itself is really good. But anyway, cool carry, great gear. Thank you for sharing. Next up is the final submission in this weekly. We'll have some honorable mentions, but this one comes from Luis Mendoza. You can find him over on Instagram at mendoza.edc. The first thing you see in this photo is the Andar Scout Wallet to the very left. On top of that is the Lottie EDC Shuffle KK, little, I'm guessing those are titanium playing cards, tiny little chip style. He also has a small Sabenza 31 in S45VN, as well as a Koenig Arius. And next to that is the Vero Engineering Blue Anodized Fulcrum, a Grimsmo Saga, and the watch that you see here is the Laurier Neptune Series 3. Lewis says, "I'm trying to finalize a full titanium carry and looking to complete it with a Nokluma DC0 Light and a tough clip from JRW. It seems like I'm migrating from softer metals like copper and brass to titanium, and this carry contains one of my favorite color combinations in a carry, blue and silver. This specific carry helps me go through my day-to-day almost every need I have. Almost all of my EDC items have a sentimental value. This value comes from the person who made it, or if it was gifted to me, or simply the stories behind that item in my collection. I found out that my collection constantly changes, but what remains is the longevity and toughness that can be passed through generations." Well, all of this stuff is really tough, really tough gear, except for maybe the Neptune, because it has a plexiglass crystal, but you can always polish it up. But regardless, this is a really cool carry. I still have not tried an Arius. I want to. I've handled them. I want to own one just for a little bit to see if I like it, but I want to go flipperless. I want just a little thumb hole Arius. Maybe a small. I don't know. But this is really cool stuff. Was there anything he said? Oh yeah, the other thing that jumped out at me here was the matching of colors. The blue and silver is just done super well. So thank you for sharing. And finally, let's get to some honorable mentions. The first one is only an honorable mention because it wasn't actually submitted to the show. It's just posted over in the Facebook group. It comes from Chris Sim, and boy, that Hinderer is nice. There's also a really nice triple aught design barrel flashlight. The color scheme here is perfect. It's just such a nice and very bougie carry. Next up, we have a submission from B. Clark. The knife in this one is just spectacular. Both knives, actually. The rest of the stuff we see a lot of here in the submissions, the Okluma, DC0, Grimsmo Saga, but really the two knives in this photo are spectacular. Next up, we have Manny Bassan, another just really good carry put together. We have a submission from Art, who has been featured in past bougie carries. Art over here with his old gold sub. The next one comes from Harrison, or Broke Boys Tactical. This one I chose just because it's got really nice color scheme. You got black, red, and silver. Just all goes together super well. And then finally, the last one is from Josh W, or Joshua90 over on Instagram. This one's just packed with really good stuff. An Umnandi. You don't see the Umnandi nearly enough. Neon, I believe that's an NL. Love Shirogorov stuff. Just really cool stuff. That Zenith is also a really nice watch. Really nice watch. Anyway, those are the honorable mentions, and thank you all for submitting. Continue to do so. As I mentioned, there's going to be a November giveaway. Just go to edcw.co and submit your carry. You're entered to win. If you're featured anywhere, you get an additional entry. That's that. So go there, submit. And that's it for now. Thank you guys. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button down below. Everything you saw here will be linked down below as well. There's also shirts, gear, and merch over at bestdamnedc.com if you want to support the show that way, and Patreon, of course, if you care to support there. So that's all for now. Thank you guys, and until next time, carry on.